the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. We're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go online right now and order your pizza at papajohns.com. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Barry, we've got some news out of Norman. Sounds like stadium expansion is a possibility for the football stadium at OU. What expansion do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think what we're really talking about is stadium renovation. I'm not even sure the capacity would increase. What OU's talking about is a new facade on the west side upper deck, new press box, new suites, those kinds of things. Sometimes when you build new suites, your capacity actually goes down. Now, what it comes down to is an economic question. Will the suites pay for themselves, pay for the project? The answer is probably yes. So economically, it's probably a good move. Now, the other avenue of this question is, do the Sooners need this from a recruiting, from a basis of enticing people to Norman? Now, that's where I think the debate comes. Some in Norman say yes, some in Norman say no. And frankly, I don't think that recruits are swayed by the quality of press boxes. It's an aesthetic question as much as anything. Barry Switzer said, had some caustic remarks about the way it looks. The west side does not look as up to date as the east side. So I think it's just a question of, do they want to spend that kind of money knowing that it'll probably pay for itself, but do they want to spend that kind of money for an aesthetic look? And I think that's what's going to be debated here in the next few months.
Yeah, and the issue of additional revenue, obviously everybody's looking for additional revenue, and if those suites, if they not only pay for themselves, but if they start to create additional revenue above and beyond what they already have, and you have to assume that they will, that's good news for Oklahoma football. But in terms of recruiting, if you're thinking about benefits there, to me, the only benefit you're going to get if you're talking about changing the stadium is probably expanding the seat number, because kids like the idea of, I'm playing in front of 100,000 people. I mean, those stadiums out there that are 100,000, there's sort of a wow factor to that. And, obviously, NFL stadiums are not that big. Most college stadiums that are even great ones aren't that big. But there's something about that number that really entices some kids that are looking to, where am I going to play? So if they want it to have recruiting factor in it all, I think they'd have to add seats. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. It would obviously be on the north side of the stadium that they'd be looking in closing, the top decks, bringing those around. But unless they're interested in doing that, I don't think recruiting gets a bump at all. I think it's about just making the stadium better, and maybe long term you bring in some additional revenue.
Yeah, I think it's going to boil down to a revenue question. I don't think this really affects recruiting.
I don't think so either. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.